Okay, I just wanted to make a really quick video with kind of a thought that I had, something kind of unique, kind of a crazy idea for the Lions as Garnder Johnson is coming back in the building. So here's kind of my thought. First off, he came back. We were hoping he'd come back by the end of the season. I think expecting him to play this weekend against Minnesota, where we hopefully clinch the division for the first time since 1993. I believe that's a lot to ask for. But he could come back against Dallas or in the final game of the season against the Vikings as well. But I'm never going to underestimate Garnder Johnson. So here's kind of a thought that I was messing around with. When I'm looking at our depth chart, right, and I see who our corners are, Cam Sutton, right now we have Khalil Dorsey listed as the second starter. He played a lot against the Broncos, considerably more than Kindle Vildor. I had done a video on this when they were talking about how Vildor is going to get more reps and he's going to take Jerry Jacobs' spot. I was like, what about Khalil Dorsey? So we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about how he played, but also we are going to talk about some of the depth there because I think Garnder Johnson, I know you're like, why are you talking about corners? Garnder Johnson's a safety. But here's this guy right here, Ifeatu Melonfanwu has been playing really good football for the Detroit Lions this year, racking up a PFF grade of 74.5. He's doing well. All right. So when we look at guys like this, and then I look at the rest of the cornerback room, you have two guys that, well, not decently scored, but you've got Cam Sutton, who's the 67th graded corner, not quite starting caliber corner. He's really fallen off in the back half of the year. He has. But then you have Brian Branch, who's the 30th rated corner in the league. Now, Brian Branch plays almost solely where? Out of the slot. Okay? So what about this? If you want to get our best players on the field, right? Because Kindle Vildor has played well, but, again, it's only 30 coverage snaps. He has a defensive grade of 72.9. We know he played well in that game. In the one game that he played, was against the Bears, right? His former team. Khalil Dorsey has a PFF grade of 57. Jerry Jacobs, 57. It's the exact same. All right? Stephen Gilmore hasn't gotten the opportunity. They've made it pretty clear, apparently, that they do not trust him, all right, to play at this point. So if you're not going to put Stephen Gilmore at the corner, here's my plan. Here's my idea. What if you move Brian Branch to outside? He's played many snaps, not like a ton, but he's played quite a few snaps on the outside this year when he's had to due to injury, due to whatever. You bring in Garnder Johnson to play the nickel instead of just having him replace Ifeatu Melonfanwu. All right, you bring him in to play the nickel, and then you let Iffy and Kirby Joseph continue playing safety. That is how you get the 5 best players on the field. I'm not saying Brian Branch is naturally a better outside corner than nickel corner. He is a very good nickel corner. We know that about him. But is he a better outside corner than Khalil Dorsey? Is he a better outside corner than Kindle Vildor? Is he a better outside corner than Jerry Jacobs? And then you know Garnder Johnson can play in the slot. And with him coming back from the pec tear and things like that, having him play in the slot rather than playing up in the box as a safety and things like that. I mean, I'm not going to say that because that actually doesn't make sense. But the idea of the versatility of this team, when I think about Ifeatu Melonfanwu, when I think about Garnder Johnson, and thumbs up, and when I think about Brian Branch all on the field, knowing that all of them are good in pass coverage, but all of them are ready, willing, and phenomenal tacklers, all of a sudden, I think that defense becomes so much more multiple. And I think you have to understand, like, this could be a really, really good idea. All 3 of them are decent blitzers. All right? All 3 of them are almost like having an extra linebacker in there because of the size, the way in which they play, because the sureness of their tackling. So what they allow you to do is they allow you to blitz from anywhere. They allow you to not bring them off the field. They can stay on the field even in running situations because of their ability to tackle. And I would argue that the three of them being on the field is still better defensively against the pass than having Kindle Vildor or Khalil Dorsey on the field instead and not having one of them on. So that's kind of, I just wanted to make a quick video on that of like, do they shuffle the lineup? And I'm really interested to see when CJ comes back, if he's getting snaps out of the nickel corner spot so Brian Branch can stay on the field, move to the outside corner, but more than that, to see if he can stay on the field because of how well he's playing. It's amazing that as this season's gone on, originally we just thought, Brian Branch. Like, we might not have to pay CJ Garnder Johnson big money to return because Brian Branch will just replace CJ and play that nickel spot. We're good to go. And now, if he has played in 3 games where he's started, you can even call it 3.5, 4 games, he's looked very good. So the question is, could he be a replacement so Branch can stay at nickel? And now, even furthermore than that, CJ Garnder Johnson gets injured. Nobody likes that. But because of the injury, he's probably not going to demand as big of a payday. It might be another 1-year prove-it deal that we're able to give to him, just like the one we gave him last year. And by the way, we have money to spend. All right, so it's one of those things where it went from, all right, this is great. I'm going to love having this guy for a year, and then he's going to be gone because we're not going to be able to afford him with all the other people we're going to have to pay down the line. That is CJ Garnder Johnson. But now it's looking, and it was okay because Branch was able to replace him. Now it looks like there's 2 guys that are quality level to replace him, and we could keep him. I like it. All right. Hope this isn't too crazy of a thought, and I'm sure the Lions coaching staff has thought of it. They're better than me. All right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.